Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the campus of Providence Day School and Mozak Field for tonight's boys lacrosse NCISAA quarterfinal matchup. Tonight's playoff contest features the 7-seeded Hawks from Charlotte Latin taking on the number 2-seeded Providence Day Chargers. The Charlotte Latin is coached, the Hawks are coached by Spencer Wims, and the Chargers of Providence State are coached by Bobby Thompson, Jeff Thompson, Ken Lober, Jake Faub, and David Oliver. One of our veterans of their past sacrifices that positively impact our freedoms today. And now the singing of our national. We'll be right back after the national. So Charlotte Latin recently beat North Raleigh Christian Academy 22-8 in the first round on May 7th, on Tuesday of this week. They are 8-11 on the season. Providence Day is 16-5. The winner of this game will play the winner of Christ School or against Raven Gap. And depending on who wins, it'll be at the team with the better record school. So there's no chance Latin can host against Christ School or Raven Gap. But if the Chargers win, they will host either Christ School or Raven Gap School. We are just about set for the opening face-off. And Latin's going to win the face-off there. And play-by-play announcer Zach Kahn. Mackenzie Easton will be joining us in the second half. In Providence Day's last game against Charlotte Latin, they won 12-6. In terms of individual stats, Mason Schmidt had 3 points. Calvin Krause had 2 points. Alex Jesse had 4. He had 3 goals. He scored 3 goals or more in every single game this season. He has a school record 102 goals this year, which is incredible. As Emerson Smith with a save right there. And Alex Jesse also has a 51% shooting percentage, first on the team. He also leads the team in assists with 52 and points with 154. Chargers passing the rock around. It's Calvin Krause. He played really well in the last game against Latin. Throws it down. They're trying to get it closer to the crease. Jesse with the move, and he scores. Goal number 103 for Alex Jesse. That might bump his goals per game average to 5, as he's sitting at 4.9 now. But he's had an excellent season. 200 shots, 103 goals. He has had an impressive season, and no doubt he's going to be an All-American once again this season. He had 79 goals last year, and with, say, probably up to 30 more goals this year, he will be an All-American once again.
Your Providence State Chargers' first goal of the game, scored by number 5, Dartmouth commit Alex Jesse.
And Jesse's going to Dartmouth next year. He's going to play lacrosse there.
The 10-11 mark of the first quarter.
And another shot taken by the Chargers. That one's going to bounce off Latin's goalie. Chargers still regain possession. It's Evan France with the ball. And just like that, the Hawks are going to strike back. I believe that was number 22 with the goal. It's a tie game. Similar start to last game between, 22. I thought that was 14 or 22. Yeah, so that was number 22 for Charlotte Latin, which is Dylan Mulligan. Yeah, he had 3 goals against the Chargers in his first game earlier in the year, and then against the Chargers, he had in the most recent game, he had 1 goal. So he's certainly made an impact against the Chargers this year. A similar start to last game against Latin. It was 1-1 until the 7:48 mark, where Alex Jesse and Calvin Krause ran away with this one until the second half.
Backed up by Providence Day.
And if you're just joining us, feel free to type in the chat where you're streaming from. And that one is the crossbar, shot by number 2, Scott Thompson. As number 22, Joseph McCarthy's going to swing for the fences but miss there. And after a close race there between number 8 and number 12, the Chargers, number 8 is going to be closer to the ball, and it'll be Charger ball. Mason Schmidt. Schmidt is second on the team in goals with 37. Speaking of the devil there, the Chargers score another goal.
Ball. Your Providence Day second goal of the game, his second, number 5, Alex.
And that goal was Jesse's 104th goal of the season. Second of the game. About 7 minutes left in the first period.
Unassisted, time 7:25 of the first quarter. Chargers ball.
As that one not intercepted by the Latin player. That's going to be number 22, Joseph McCarthy, just entered the game. That's going to be McCarthy's 27th goal of the season. And he's catching up to his brother in points. He's only 2 back from his brother Will. He's got 41 points on the year. .550 to go in the first quarter. So Latin's going to scoop up that face-off. A little bit of a rough day for the face-off team for Providence Day. They've had a couple of legal procedures. Hasn't really hurt them so far. Chargers up 2 goals. And with that assist by Alex Jesse, he is now only 1 point away from 159 points, which would put him 100 points ahead of the second closest person on the team in points. So that's impressive. What's also impressive is that diving goal by Latin player. Couldn't see their number there, but that snuck right by Emerson Smith, Providence State goalie. And Latin's going to get the face-off once again.
Their second of the game, scored by number 6, Dallas Chapman. Unassisted at 5:11 of the first quarter.
And that goal was scored by number 6, Dallas Chapman for the Hawks.
5:11 the first quarter.
4:50 to go in the first quarter. Chargers up by a goal. Latin keeping it close. They kept it really close in their last meeting against the Chargers. They're up 1 point at halftime. The Chargers ran away with it in the second half. I was commentating that game. As a miscommunication between number 10 and number 14 for Charlotte Latin. Chargers going to scoop up the ball. You see with the ball right there, that's Zach Katz. He's had a lot of penalty minutes for the Chargers this year, but he's super impressive and aggressive defenseman. As number 2, Scott Thompson will cradle the ball. Near fake and move by Joseph McCarthy. That one's going to hit the rim of the goal.
And of course for the Chargers, the 23, Emerson Smith.
But a second chance effort by number 22, Joseph McCarthy. He's going to get his second goal of the game. Chargers up 2 goals once again with 3:41 to go in the first quarter. And Chargers playing without, or at the moment they're playing without Kyle Van Dam. I knew he had some knee issues earlier. So the Chargers quickly win the face-off and begin to set their offense.
Number 22, Joseph McCarthy. Once again, the assist, number 5, Alex Jesse. Time 3:41 of the first quarter. Again, that Chargers, 4th goal, 22, Joseph McCarthy. His second of the game, the assist, 5, Jesse, and 3:41 of the first quarter.
As that one's wide right for Jesse. As he's going to spin and score. Alex Jesse maintaining his hat trick streak to an impressive 22 games in a row. His 3rd goal of the day and 105th goal of the season. 2:54 left to go in the first period.
That Providence Day, 5th goal, his 3rd of the game. Number 5, Alex Jesse. Unassisted at 2:54 of the first quarter. Again, the hat trick.
That one was unassisted there.
His 3rd goal, game unassisted, 2:54 mark of the first quarter.
If I'll be Providence Day ball. Latin goalie's going to scoop it up. And they're going to go downfield. Really great defense by the Chargers defensive men. Harry O'Neill has 34 takeaways this year. He's had a very impressive season. Zach Katz, I mentioned him earlier, he did 19 takeaways this year. Or steals. And that shot by Banks Cutter is wide, with 1:34 to go in the first quarter. Hawks are going to retain possession of the ball. I apologize for not having a running clock. It's just me in here for the first half. Just over a minute here in the first quarter. Chargers lead 5-2 in the quarterfinals of the NCISAA 4A Boys Lacrosse State Tournament. I know some tournaments call themselves like championships, and each round is a championship. But not here. The NCISAA has a tournament instead, which I like much better. .30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Latin looking for some late clock magic, as they're not going to get it, but they're going to get a second chance as Latin's going to retain possession. The clock's at 15 seconds. Latin's got to move if they want to score here, as that high shot by number 22 goes up into the netting. That's number 22, Dylan Mulligan. He's had 6 goals against the Chargers this season in 3 games. From what we've seen, he is one of the best players on the Hawks. He's a sophomore. So just like that, with 9 seconds to go in the first quarter, this game, it's a little more interesting as the Chargers are going to just widen this one out. End of the first quarter. Chargers lead 5-3. Alex Jesse has scored 3 goals, and he's had 1 assist. Joseph McCarthy scored 2 goals. Dylan Mulligan's had 2 goals for the Hawks. And number 6, Dallas Chapman, has also scored a goal. It's 5-3 Providence Day. It was 5-3 Providence Day in the last meeting against the Hawks in the first quarter. The score at halftime was 6-5 Hawks. We'll see if we get some of the same or something different. We'll be back in a moment. So as we are about to begin the second quarter here at Mozak Field, one of Latin's best games of the season came against North Raleigh Christian at home on Tuesday. They won by 14. They won 22-8. They really limited the Knights of North Raleigh to really only using their best player, senior Logan Florio. He only had 1 goal, and Latin took off early in that one as they look to continue momentum here. They're down by 2, but like I said, at the end of the first quarter, they were down 2 against the Chargers in their last meeting and were up by 1 at halftime. And we have a penalty. Latin's the penalty on Latin pushing. It's be on number 12, 30 seconds. So Chargers going to be a man up for 30 seconds. That penalty is on number 12, Murphy Ty.
The penalty on Charlotte Latin, number 12, pushing, 30 seconds. Penalty. Chargers now.
So 30 seconds for a big opportunity to go up 3. Chargers. And McCarthy's going to miss that one.
McCarthy backed up by the Chargers.
Chargers look to get at least one more opportunity up a man. And just another misfire by the Chargers offense as that man advantage is going to go stale. The Chargers 0 for 2 on the power play, kind of like the Hurricanes against the Rangers in the series. Unfortunately, unlike the Chargers, the Hurricanes aren't winning in that series, while the Chargers are winning today. They're up 5-3. Fun fact, they've won 18 straight games against Charlotte Latin. So it's been quite some time since the Hawks have seen a victory against Providence Day. You know, what can you say? Alex Jesse takes it himself with the nifty move. Fools goalie Davis Horde there. Chargers go up 6-3. Alex Jesse, 4 goals tonight. 1 assist. And this man is certainly on his way to get at least 110 goals this season. Maybe he'll break 120.
At Providence Day, 6th goal, his 4th goal of the game. Number 5, Alex Jesse. Unassisted at 9:51 of the second quarter.
And that was scored at 9:51 in the second quarter. Chargers out shooting the Hawks by 8 shots. And their shooting percentages are fairly similar, however, just with the Chargers getting more opportunities. So not a too discouraging sign for a Latin head coach Spencer Wims, who's the new head coach at Charlotte Latin. As Jesse goes for 5, number 5 goes for 5. He's going to be denied by number 11, Knox Hudson. .25 to go in the second quarter. And McCarthy pickpocketed by number 12, Murphy Ty. Ty's running up the field. Latin has a break here, as they have the advantage and score. Dylan Mulligan with his 3rd goal of the game. Latin gets within 2. It's Mulligan's 7th against the Chargers this season. If the Chargers can shut down Mulligan, they can shut down Charlotte Latin. That's really been the calling card in this series. And there's added pressure on the line. It's win or go home for both teams. It's playoff season. Chargers using a lot of isolation. Chargers using a lot of isolation picks and drives by their middies and forwards. Lots of trying to go around the side of the goal and score. It's worked somewhat, but Davis Horde has certainly been a presence in net for the Hawks. Evan France on the shot. Circles wide. It'll be backed up by Charlotte Latin. Seven minutes to go in the second quarter. Both teams do still have 2 timeouts. Latin's actually got more saves than Providence Day. Another encouraging sign for Latin or Providence Day. You can look at it either way. As a race for the ball, that one's going to be offsides. Chargers going to pick it up. Chargers getting set with Jesse behind the goal. Jesse spinning. Chargers dishing it around. Back to Jesse. Setting up a play. As they're going to go around the outside. Looks like Latin had other plans in mind. 5:48 to go in the second quarter of this playoff game. A familiar face throws the ball into the net. That's going to be a hat trick for Joseph McCarthy, number 22. He now passes his brother in points on the season and goals on the season. They're certainly battling it out there. Will McCarthy, his brother, Joseph's brother, who just scored the goal, holds the single season best shooting percentage in Charger history with last year. He was very, very, very sharp shooter. So Chargers up 7-4, 5:30 to go in the second quarter. And like many goals in this game, that was unassisted.
7th goal coming to Joseph McCarthy, his 3rd of the game of time 5:40 in the second quarter.
So Jesse and McCarthy doing all the scoring for Providence Day. Chargers slowing things down. Great play by Scott Thompson there. Cutting by his defender and shooting and scoring. Chargers double up the Hawks. So now, all of a sudden, in a span of a minute, this game has gone from a 6-4 Latin momentum to Chargers up 8-4 with the Chargers having all the momentum in the world as Jack Langston wins the face-off. He's had a great 2 seasons in the face-off circle. He's always a very good, him and another player like DiVittorio or Stone. He's always a good 1-2 punch to win the face-off. Also really good at getting ground balls. We've got quite a loud crowd for Charlotte Latin as shot by Alex Jesse saved by David Horde. Pardon. Davis Horde. The Chargers keep putting more and more and more pressure on the Hawks. The Hawks have not gotten a really good opportunity to get things going and to turn around this ball game in the past 3 minutes. We'll see if they can do that in the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the second quarter. Neither team has called a timeout in the first half. Be interesting to see if that'll change in the second half. I would assume so, just due to lineup changes and changes in play. I would assume Latin would change strategically. And look at that. Timeout, Charlotte Latin. I'm sure somebody down there was listening to me. We'll see if they change things up and get things going during after the timeout. But during this timeout, I'm going to take a break. Chargers up 8-4 in the second quarter. You're watching the NCISAA 4A Boys Lacrosse Quarterfinals. As play restarts here, we have an announcement to make. This was from Providence Day historian Dick Ohouse, and this was relayed to the press box and me, that last goal by Joseph McCarthy was puts him over 100 points this season. Latin almost scored a goal there as Dylan Mulligan's going to try to drive in as he knocks over Zach Katz. They're trying to speed things up. And look at here who forces a turnover. Number 13, Harry O'Neill, the leader in turnovers forced for the Chargers. Chargers going to one-up Latin here. They're going to call a timeout with possession of the ball. 1:47 to go in the second period. Chargers up 8-4. 1:47 to go in the second quarter. Charger ball. I'm Zach Kahn. This may be the final bit of this half for me commentating. Mackenzie isn't supposed to fill in while I go upstairs helping out in the press box, but we'll see. So that timeout must have worked. That timeout was smartly called by by Coach Thompson, as his son Scott Thompson scores. Chargers up 9-4. I can fix the scoreboard back to what it was earlier. 9-4. So Latin's kind of gotten flattened, in a sense, over the past 5 minutes. Got a jump ball here. Chargers going to take it.
Goal of the game, his second of the game. Forward by number 2, Scott Thompson. Unassisted at the 119 mark.
And that one was, by no surprise, unassisted as well. That just seems to be the theme of this one. Just attacking them into the interior instead of smartly set up shots. So Chargers looking to control. 45 seconds to go in the second period. A lot different than the most recent meeting between the two teams. So Latin was up by 1 at halftime. Back then. So Chargers looking to end. Oh, excuse me, pardon. Chargers looking to end the first half on a great note, as they will call a timeout, use it or lose it. They decide to use it instead of lose it for, I guess, one of those. I guess they're going to use like a last-second play here, see what they can do. They might need to use it against Christ School, Raven Gap, or Cannon if they do end up holding this lead and advancing.
Timeout, Providence Day. The referees asked for 8 seconds to be added to the clock.
So the referees are saying that a second should be added to the clock. So 8 seconds now left in this half, as Chargers look to beat Latin once again. The last loss came in 2016 on May 4th. So the May the 4th be with you. That phrase was not kind to them back then. No surprise Latin uses their use it or lose a timeout here. They want to get their defense set. Gives Latin another chance to figure out what they're going to do, and Providence Day another chance to figure out what they're going to do. Chargers have fared very well against a lot of opponents. Latin, they are 30. I guess at this point they're 38-16 all time. They're on an impressive streak right now. Yeah, they are a very, very impressive. Very impressive. Since 2016, they've only lost twice to Country Day, Charlotte Latin, or Charlotte Christian. So their closest rivals, they have won an outstanding amount. I have to do the math, but they're certainly like 25-2 in that span. That shot was just wide by the Chargers. Latin gets what they want. Chargers still get what they want. They're up 5 going into halftime. 9-4 is your halftime score. Alex Jesse, Joseph McCarthy both have 3 or more goals. And you can add Latin's Dylan Mulligan to that list as well. He has 3. Scott Thompson has 2 goals for the Chargers as well. Dallas Chapman has 1 for Latin. We can't forget about that one too. Halftime here. We'll take a break. I may or may not be back. So signing off for now. I'm Zach Kahn. Enjoy your halftime. And we're back in the third quarter here. Chargers up 10-4. Calvin Krause with a goal. I'm Zach Kahn. Mackenzie Eason has not shown up, so I will be doing the second half. We apologize for the delay. There's a little bit of confusion. And that goal was scored around 11 minutes into the second half. Chargers looking to continue their winning streak. They've beaten Latin in every single matchup since 2016. As that was number 4, Philip Hoinger fired it. Shot saved by Emerson Smith. 8:30 to go in the third quarter. Both teams playing a little bit slower in the second half. I would assume Latin would have to speed things up a little later. Excellent save by number 8, Latin goalie Davis Horde. As Latin's going to get another shot on goal. That's going to be scooped up by Emerson Smith. 3 saves this half. A little back and forth save battle. Horde saves it. It's 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Chargers up by 6 goals. The last game, Chargers were up by like 6 goals, I believe, and Latin came back within 2, but then the Chargers extended a little more. That shot there by Providence stayed just wide. Hit the back of the net there. Providence has a very impressive record at home. They are 9-2 this season at home. 4-1 in NCISAA conference play. Another goal scored by the Chargers. It's 11-4, Providence Day. So Chargers, very, very impressive season as they look to play Christ School or Raven Gap in their next game, if they do hang on. Scott Thompson with the goal. So now all of Providence Day scores are Scott Thompson, Alex Jesse, or Joseph McCarthy. All three have hat tricks. So 4 players with hat tricks total in this game. Chargers really taking control this half. That goal's going to extend their lead to 8. 5:12 left in the third quarter. Chargers up by 8 now. Yep, Alex Jesse, number 5, is going to get 5 goals today. So that's going to break, he's going to break the 4 goals per game mark. He's going to go up to 5. He's averaging 5 goals per game this year. So he's had a historic season. Someone else who's had a great game is Scott Thompson. Chargers walking all over the Hawks. It's Thompson with his 4th goal of the game. So Jesse's got 5, McCarthy's got 4, and Scott Thompson's got 4. Dylan Mulligan for Charlotte Latin has 3 goals, and then number 6 on Charlotte Latin has 1 as well. Chargers extend their lead to 13-4. I believe the Ravens were 13-4 this season, but hopefully Chargers won't have that result in the postseason. So 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Chargers up 9. They're out shooting the Hawks by 19 shots. Chargers now have more saves than the Hawks do. Make that 6 goals for Alex Jesse. 14-4. This game has gotten way out of hand here. 3:39 to go in the third quarter. Chargers with a I believe I learned this in English class today. Brobagdian effort. It means like massive, great. As they have scored at least 6 goals in this quarter. Yeah, so 5th unanswered. Sorry, I overestimated. Well, I'm sure they'll score 6 this quarter. And that one was unassisted. Alex Jesse's assist earlier may have been the only assist of the game. So Jesse getting a lot of points today. If he puts a couple more, 2 games left in this season, if he puts up probably double the numbers in both of those games, I bet he could get to 200 points. As Charlotte Latin finally stops the scoring run by Providence Day. Number 22, Dylan Mulligan, going to score his 4th goal of the game. 14-5. 14-5 is also the ratio for shots to saves for Charlotte Latin. They've shot the ball 14 times, saved the ball 5. So interesting fact there. Not a whole lot interesting with the Hawks otherwise, but I guess if that's a takeaway from this game, let it be a takeaway. Jassy looking for his 7th goal, not going to get it. McCarthy tries to help him out. That one's not going to go in, as now it's a scrum for the ball. Chargers end up on top, but a bad pass is going to lead to a Chargers turnover. Latin is going to get a possession here. 2:14 to go in the 3rd quarter. About 10 minutes have passed in this quarter. What a great move by Alex Jesse, ducking by defenders. He still had the ball there when he fell to the ground. Whistles blew. It was actually a Providence Day timeout. So if they didn't call that timeout, I think Jesse would have stood up and ran through a wall of 4 defenders and scored. Normally when you're quadruple teamed, your coach calls a timeout, and that's what Bobby Thompson did. So 14-5, Providence Day leads with 1:47 left to go in the 3rd period. Chargers look like they're on their way to hosting a game on Tuesday against Christ School or Raven Gap. Chargers recently beat Christ School 10-3 at their place on April 26th. That was a huge win. It was a really even matchup coming in, so Chargers really have the advantage against Christ School. Chargers have not played Raven Gap this season, but remember, they keep playing Raven Gap in the football team keeps playing Raven Gap in the championship. And the Chargers have played Raven Gap in the semifinals multiple times of the lacrosse. They've played in the NCISAA boys lacrosse semifinals multiple times over the years. Chargers have won about almost all of them in my recent memory. So that would be a really fun game. Yeah, Raven Gap has not gotten too lucky against any of Providence Day athletics except soccer over the past few years, especially in the playoffs. But they are in Georgia, so maybe it's their own fault. As McCarthy bombs that one, that one's going to go off the bar there. McCarthy looking for 5. A leaping catch by number 22, Joseph McCarthy. That almost turned into a miraculous highlight play. Almost a goal there. Boy, that would have been really nice to get on video. A lot of coaches smiling on the sidelines of what that could have been. "18 seconds left in the third period. Chargers going to get one more crack at it. Get their lead up to double digits. They won by double digits against Latin earlier in the year at Latin. And they'll be up by double digits. And half of 10 is 5. And that is how many goals Joseph McCarthy has. That is also Alex Jesse's number. And it's been an excellent game for the trio of Scott Thompson, Joseph McCarthy, and Alex Jesse. 6-5 and 4 goals today. The upperclassmen really are showing out in playoffs, showing the underclassmen how to play and how to show up in a quarterfinal game. And you could say the same about Jack Langston. He tried to throw that one up on the ground. Really close there. That's going to be the end of the third period. Chargers up 15-5, up by 10. One more period to go unless we get a Tom Brady miracle here. We'll be back in a moment. So a busy slate for Providence Day Athletics tomorrow. Girls soccer could be playing tomorrow or Saturday, either Carmel Christian or Raven Cap. Softball kicks off their tournament run tomorrow at home. And girls lacrosse may have a game as well. So regardless, Providence Day Sports Network will be covering the game if it is on Friday and Raven Gap wins. I believe it's if Raven Gap wins, because I believe they only stay overnight tonight. Then Miss Dixon and Mr. Dixon will be covering the game. But if Carmel Christian wins, myself and Charlie Hitt will be on the coverage. So we will see what happens. Both teams, I believe it's like the 8-9 matchup. I think Raven Gap won 1-0 in the last matchup between the two. So, really, really even matchup. So Cole Lawton in net for Providence Day. Lawton is going to sneak a goal by him. 10-12 to go in the fourth quarter. As I will be announcing for the rest of this game. It's confirmed. And that goal was unassisted, 10-12 in the fourth quarter. So number 28's got the penalty. Jeremy Masucci pushing. Latin is a man up. Man up didn't matter there. That one hit the crossbar. Mulligan shot. No good. As number 18 is going to fill that one out. Chargers looking to hold the ball as the penalty expires. So both teams have done a solid job on the penalty kill in the up there with the New York Rangers in recent good ability to kill penalty power plays. This Coach Thompson not happy about the potential push, but Latin player number 4 is going to exit the game anyway. 7:59 to go in the fourth quarter. Chargers up by 9. The final score of the first meeting between these teams this season was 16-6, so we could see a repeat of that. That's certainly in the books. As number 12 stole that Providence Day player's cookies there. So Latin is going to get a chance on offense here. As number 3 winds up, goes over the goal. 14 is going to be close to the ball, so Latin is going to keep possession. So Latin's still looking to find a way to score. Playing slow. Chargers suffocating defense. Matthew McCoy, long stick midi, leading the way. He forced the turnover. Be picked up by Scotty Thompson. And batted out of bounds by Charlotte Latin. Looked like McCoy had that for a second, but Chargers looking to put the icing on the cake as they will most certainly advance and survive for another 5 days or so until they play on Tuesday against Christ School or Raven Gap. And there's still an outlandish chance the Chargers could host the state championship. They obviously have to win, and Cannon has to lose, but Cannon is really, really, really good. They beat the Chargers 16-7, 16-5, and then they won by like 15 in the state championship last year. So they're basically the Chargers' Achilles heel. Latin does not, and that goal by number 29, William Hughes, kind of just proved that he's the first non-upperclassman to score a goal this game. This puts us at a score of 16-6. Chargers up 10. Same score as the first game of the season. It's probably about 2 months ago. I bet I can find that exact date. One moment. So 4:40 to go in the fourth quarter. So just over a month ago, a month and 1 week. So 5 weeks ago, Chargers won 16-6. Not here, away at Latin. So pretty similar output. April 2nd. Chargers led very comfortably in that one as well. They were up double digits most of the game. There was a lot of more diverse scoring in that game. As Mason Schmidt actually had more goals than Alex Jesse in that game. He had 5, Jesse had 4. Chargers looking for another goal, and they're going to get another goal. Looked like William Hughes there. So 17-6. Chargers have now scored 287 goals this season, while their opponents have scored 168. The only downside I'd say about this game, and the Chargers won, so this is probably just a little picky, but the Chargers were 38%, are 38% on the season on power plays. Their opponents are 21, so they played very well on power play kill, but in terms of utilizing and capitalizing on that opportunity, that percentage is probably going to dip after tonight. So correction, Dylan Oshiro scored that goal. Hughes had the assist. .210 to go in the fourth quarter. And that one's going to sneak by Providence State goalie once again. That's going to be the 7th goal for Charlotte Latin. 10-point ball game. 1:55 to go in the game. I think we can call it now. So despite a really interesting start, the Chargers rebounded, came out of the locker room with much more motivation and aggression and desire to win than Charlotte Latin. They reeled off 5 straight goals to put this one in the back of the freezer. .122 to go. It's in the wee moments of this game. So Providence Day will now advance to the NCISAA semifinals, where they face the winner of Christ School or Raven Gap. That semifinal game will be played here next week on Tuesday, May 14th or Wednesday, May 15th. Go to PDSChargers.com for more information on game times and dates next week. And this weather really cleared up from yesterday and this morning. So grateful for that. Grateful for everybody listening, and of course grateful for a Charger win that is about to happen in about 45 seconds. Lots of happy faces on the bench. Seniors out there too, smiling. Got some alum out there too. It's a shot by Dylan Mulligan. 15 seconds to go. Can Latin get one more at the end of their season? Nope, that's when that one is going to go off the top of Cole Latin's stick. That one's going to go out of bounds, so Latin's going to get one more opportunity. See if they can end their season on at least a little positive note. Penalty, but it won't matter, as they will with no time remaining. Latin is going to score. Worthless, but not too bad a way to end the season and a loss for Charlotte Latin. Your final score, 17-8. Chargers defeat the Hawks. We'll play Christ School or Raven Gap next week on Tuesday or Wednesday. Alex Jesse had 6 goals. Joseph McCarthy had 5. Scott Thompson had 4. William Hughes had 1, and Dylan Oshro had 1 for the goal scoring for the Chargers. Emerson Smith played really well, only allowed 5 goals. Was pulled in the second half due to the epic performance by Jesse and that trio. So that'll be the end of the season for the Hawks. Not too bad of a first rebuilding season for Spencer Wims. The Hawks finished 8-12 on the season. Once again, after Dick Sipperly left, that's a big hole to fill. He was really, really good. I know in the most recent years, the rivalry hasn't been as close, but before 2016, Latin was winning a lot. So big shoes to fill. I'd say a successful in some ways this season for Charlotte Latin. As next year, they have a lot. Mulligan's a sophomore. They have a lot of really good young talent. Not a whole lot of seniors on that team, so it'll be exciting to see them next year. So another win for Bobby Thompson and the Providence Day Chargers. Another great day, and another time for me to go home and do homework. Chargers win 17-8. I'm Zach Kahn. Have a safe afternoon.